Meanwhile, Sidney Prescott from the Scream franchise is enjoying a relaxing evening at home when her phone rings.
I'm so glad nobody cares about Billy Loomis's daughter anymore.
Ring, 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 ring.
Hello?
Hello, Sidney.
No, I'm away from you. I got away from you. What, you think you know what I'm doing? You think you know where I am? Well, then what am I doing right now?
Hopefully you're preparing for retirement financially by at least putting away 10% of your income into a 401k.
What? I thought you were trying to kill me.
No, quite the opposite. I'm trying to prolong your life. This is Jim from AARP.
Oh, no, that's right. I'm old.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Comic Book Queers episode 332. I am your host, Brett. I am decked out in my favorite Scream merch, and with me, as always, is EvilJeff, all in pink. Hi, Evil.
Hello. We do look like wicked. We look wicked. Like
we look wicked because I'm rocking like neon green on black.
And I have all like kind of dusty pink.
And you're a dusty
Actually,
pink.
it's blush and bashful.
Blush and bashful. Those are Shelby's favorite colors. We want to address some Scream rumors. Thus, I'm wearing, not rumors, like news. Thus, I am wearing my garb.
Were you all like about to?
I'm all like, what?
And he was all like, and then she was all like, and then they were all like, and I was all like, what?
What? Yeah. So there's been a lot of Scream 7 news. EvilJeff, like before we report it, why don't we, like, what has happened so far? You know, even like we were excited for these new Screams to come out. They're directed by people we love, like Christopher Landon, who did what's my favorite? The hide and seek movie, Ready or Not.
Ready or Not.
You know.
Well, here you said what's happened so far.
Yeah.
1995.
Oh.
Kevin Williamson had a dream. And no,
and he called Wes Craven. Yeah. I'm glad you cited Kevin Williamson. He will come up in this conversation.
Yes. So basically, the big news is that the original cast ended up the stars ended up either being let go or backed out because of either controversies. Some say controversies. Some say it was a whole political mess.
Melissa Barrera, who is like our new protagonist in the Scream franchise, expressed some pro-Palestinian views, right? Basically, when the war between Israel and Hamas broke out,
yes,
and she was
the company
subsequently
producing
fired.
Scream did not like that.
Did not like that.
So she got let go, and then the real star. Miss Wednesday Addams herself,
Jenna Ortega,
she then was like, oh, then I'm out too. And then they kind of scrapped the whole thing and were like, Mrs. Campbell, can you come back? And we're just
will actually pay you because she had left due to a payment dispute.
Discrepancy.
So she was not in Scream 6.
Well, I think she was probably asking for leading actress money for probably a cameo.
A cameo, yeah. Yeah.
But they're like, hey, we'll pay you that leading actress money, but now you got to be in the whole goddamn thing.
But honestly, I enjoyed not having Sidney Prescott in Scream 6.
Yeah,
I thought
I
it
also
was
think
refreshing.
The whole situation, someone literally just kind of, I felt, spoke their mind about a topic that was important to them, and
they were fired for it.
And they were fired for it, so I thought that was kind of messed up. I think it's kind of messed up that Amy Schumer can spread misinformation about Palestinians raping people, and now she has a show coming out on Netflix, and her career's fine. I just find that there is a I don't know. There's kind of a I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But I do love Scream, so I am curious of what is going to be happening with Scream 7.
We do love Scream. We are annoyed it's kind of like what old is new again. So we're going to have Neve Campbell coming back. We're going to have Kevin Williamson, the original
is it
writer.
Neve Campbell or is it Nev Campbell?
Is it Neve or Nev? Like, I feel like the E
Have
on
you
the
always
end makes
said
it Neve.
Neve Campbell?
I've always said Neve ever since Party of Five.
I'm looking up. How do you pronounce Nev
I know how to
Campbell?
pronounce the cast members of Party of Five. There's Lucy Chabert.
What?
There's Matthew Pox.
Okay,
There's-
you
no,
are,
Matthew
you're
Wolf
just
and
trying
Scott
to piss
Fox.
me off. Lucy Chabert.
Lucy Chabert from
Okay, here
Frosty
we
the
go.
Snowman, from Hot Frosty
Wait,
the Snowman.
I'm playing.
What are you doing?
I'm playing a. Hold on. I'm playing a thing that says how to say it. Nev Campbell.
It's Nev?
Yes.
That's wrong. Okay, back to Nev Campbell, which is insane that I'm pronouncing it like this all of a sudden after decades of saying Neve.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
I'm glad
it's
that's
not a
cleared up.
name. She doesn't have a real name.
Neve is not a name,
Yeah.
so I'm wrong.
Not
But-
Nev. It should have been Bev Campbell.
It should have been Bev, right?
I am Bev. Yeah, she didn't even become an actress. She was just a diner waitress.
Or Beeve, short for Beaver.
Beaver. Beaver Campbell. Just
That
like
should be the porn parody of Scream.
from
It should star
RuPaul's Drag
Beeve.
Race. We need to talk about that too.
Oh God, we need to talk about RuPaul's Drag
you
Race
watched,
too.
did
We
you
have so
watch
much
the
to talk about.
Untucked?
I did not watch the Untucked.
What?
Wait, oh my God, really?
The Untucked
my God, wait,
was
so-
the whole. The Untucked
Okay,
was the whole
okay,
thing.
stop. Scream.
Okay, we'll
Scream.
get to it.
Scream. Scream.
We'll get to it.
Scream. Okay, so the big news that we are getting to is that, well, let's go over the cast, shall we? Because I've got a nice graphic right here. I didn't appreciate who the new cast members were. I'm like super psyched for a number of these actors. Can we talk about the girl from Madam Web in our graphic top right corner? The one that played Maddie Franklin, one of our teenage Spider Women in Madam Web. She's in it. We've got a Madam
that's the guy.
Web
He was in
cast member.
Heartbreak High. He played like kind of a villain. in
Heartbreak High,
High.
yes.
Did you watch that show?
And he was also in The Fablemans. I did not watch Heartbreak High,
It's great.
but it's that actress.
Wait,
I think
so
her name is Celeste
the
O'Connor.
people from the previous franchises are also in this.
Yeah, so Jasmine. I had heard that Mason Gooding. I heard he was coming back. I had heard that what's her name? Jasmine Savoy Brown. Is that her name? The one from Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
I heard she was not coming back, but it seems she will be back in it. But then the new, look at the bottom center, girl. We've got the kid from The Boys, Asa German. Who?
Is that Hayden Panettiere?
No, it's Isabel May, who is going to be playing Sydney's daughter.
So is Hayden not going to be in this?
I don't think Hayden is going to be in this one, no. Which I'm like, anytime somebody's not in it, I'm like, good, they'll live.
True, yeah. They'll come back.
Their character had a happy ending. They lived.
But here's the thing
back-
that we need to look at is there
Yeah.
are people that are dead in
Yeah.
this movie.
But first of all,
We see-
before that,
yeah.
wait, and I just want to say Anna Camp from Pitch Perfect and True Blood,
Yes,
who I
who-
fucking love.
Okay, good for you. I do
Okay,
not
McKenna
love her.
Grace, girl, McKenna Grace,
I don't like
McKenna
her.
herself.
Who?
Okay,
Which
McKenna Grace,
character
the
is
one.
that?
Oh my God, I don't know what character she is, but she's on the left under Jasmine. She's like the girl that she was young Captain Marvel. She was young Sabrina. She was in everything, and then she started to be in her own movies. McKenna Grace.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you were still talking about the girl from Pitch Perfect. I don't like
No,
her.
I love her, Anna Camp. Oh my God. Also,
Anna Camp, I don't like her at all.
girl, Mark Consuelos
I can't wait
of
for him.
Kelly and Mark.
But here's the thing: who
Okay,
are
okay.
these people? No, it said weren't they saying that Joel McHale was going to be her husband?
All right, so this is the thing that makes me so fucking mad. In Scream 5, Sydney said, "I've got to get back home to Mark." The implication was, and the directors verified it in an interview, that she was referring to Mark, the detective from Scream 3, played by Patrick Dempsey, who there was some romantic tension with.
Yes.
But no. Turns out she's married to some other fucking dude named Mark, played by Joel McHale.
Yeah. But But here's the real question: is how is
Here we
Matthew
go.
Lillard
Matthew Lillard and
Scott
Foley,
how are they in this if their characters
two
are dead?
ghost faces. How are they in this? Scott Foley was shot
The
through the
Mirror
forehead.
has two ghost faces, directed by Barbra
Streisand. Scott Foley was shot through the brain. He played Sidney's long-lost brother. Matthew Lillard
was killed by a television set.
had a TV dropped on his head, which I feel like you could survive.
Yeah, but I think they know he's dead. Like, they recovered the body. You know what I mean? Like,
So
there
there's
would
no
be news
way
that like his body was missing.
there's no way he's playing Stu Mocker, right? There's no way Scott Foley is playing Roman Bridges.
Well, there's two things that are happening. There's two things that could be happening. We all remember that Sydney's mom was in Scream 3, but she was dead because she was playing ghost hallucinations. So there's a and Billy Loomis was in the other Screams as a ghost hallucination. So they could very well just be hallucinations of killers past that she has killed. I have a different idea.
Do you? Do you have a theory?
Are you familiar with something called the New Nightmare?
I don't know, am I?
Ah, you're prepared for this already.
I have a graphic up of Wes Craven's New Nightmare, everybody.
In New Nightmare, Heather Langenkamp isn't playing Nancy. She's playing the actress Heather Langenkamp. And Wes Craven is in the movie. It's playing it meta.
Robert
and
Englund
that Freddy
is in the movie.
coming out of the next script and starting to kill the actors from the movie. So this
the
isn't
premise.
So the premise
was like the stories were like he was this ancient entity, and the stories were able to contain him, and because they were no longer making the stories, the entity was then free. And so the way Nancy beats him at the end, the way Heather Langenkamp beats him at the end, is by accepting the role of Nancy.
Yeah. And that scene with the phone, is that where the tongue comes out?
It's like a take on where, they redo it so that it's happening to Heather Langenkamp, just like it happened to her character in the first. Also, I want to remind you that Wes Craven's New Nightmare is Nightmare on Elm Street 7.
7?
Just like Scream. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big proponent of the New Nightmare theory that Matthew Lillard will be playing Matthew Lillard. That Scott Foley will be playing
if
Scott
they're making
Foley.
a new Scream movie and the killer is actually so pissed that it's not the regular cast from before.
So how great.
Or something that they start actually killing all of the original ghost faces. So
That would
I
be
think there would
incredible.
be a great twist would be because the people that never got like Drew Barrymore type kill is the killers. So having the killers have like a Drew Barrymore type murder would be kind of amazing. The only thing that would add to this is if Dylan McDermott and Emma Roberts were listed in the cast. Then we would be like, uh-oh.
I'm holding out for Laurie Metcalf.
Laurie
myself.
Metcalf. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? But or just do so. Now I'm at the point where if they don't do the New Nightmare route, I am gonna hate it. This is all I want to see now.
I know, because this idea is so good. It's like, how can you top that?
And that the victims are all past Ghostface killers. That would be amazing. I would just love a TV like news on the set of a tragedy on the set of ABC's The Conners. Actress Laurie Metcalf found dead.
Yeah, but can you imagine if the opening kill is Laurie Metcalf?
Right.
It would be amazing.
So I would love it if all of that would mean though that all these actors, these new actors that we're talking about, would be playing themselves. Anna
But
Camp,
then the
who you
big
hate,
reveal
would be
is the
playing
real
herself.
killer is Roseanne Barr.
She's gonna murder somebody if she hasn't already.
I mean, with Trump, with her being on Trump's side,
Isn't she
she?
transportation secretary?
I know at this point, yeah, she's gonna be put in charge of something where she's gonna have free reign to do something terrible.
Now, once again, EvilJeff, we have a new Scream movie. We have an announced cast. There's one square on here we haven't really touched. And that's Miss Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox.
And I swear to fucking God, here we are again.
Oh,
I've
are
been
they
through
going to
this
kill her?
6 times. If they kill Gail Weathers, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I really don't.
I
Look at my
even
hat.
said before, I'm going to say this. Previously, we always knew Dewey was the expendable one. I feel, and if it is, it's like, this movie's probably not going to be good, and I'm just not going to really just hold it up as anything if they do. But I do feel Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell are untouchable. They're just
At this
untouchable
point,
characters.
they're untouchable. Like,
I
you're getting it
think
wrong
they're
if you kill
equal.
them.
You cannot kill either of them.
No.
And if they are like, we want to do something big and bold, and she's the first kill, I'll probably leave the theater.
I will too.
Ugh.
That's not going to make it good.
No. You also need the that dynamic between the two of them and how it's evolved over time. It would be all pointless if she just dies. You know?
Yeah, they're Jean and Emma. They're untouchable. They're sacred. Yeah. God, they're so Jean and Emma. It's like ridiculous. Oh.
All right, let's move on.
All right, new nightmare. Should we talk about some TV?
I think we should. Click it.
Oh, you want me to do it?
I want you to do it, baby.
Refuse. Here we go.
What you watching? Is it me naked? No? Oh, fine.
All right.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man from Marvel Studios, Marvel Animation, is here. I have not watched it. Because
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Go on.
Yeah. Well, I didn't watch it because of the actor Hudson Thames, who voices Peter Parker. When asked, what was your worst fear going into this? He did not respond with something media trained like, well, this is just such a legacy character. You know, he means so much to so many people. I just hope I get it right. No, his answer was, well, I was just worried it was going to be annoying and woke. So I'm not going to watch it. EvilJeff, what'd you think?
I feel that I think not watching the whole show with all the people who worked on it just because of what a voice actor stupidly said, I don't think that's a reason enough to not watch it.
Well, they should be mad at him then.
The director came out and said he misspoke.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to hear what he has to say about that. Also, the show, if I was a Republican, the show is pretty woke. So the fact that he's like, I love it. I just didn't want it to be annoying and woke. Most of the characters have been changed to people of color.
Wow.
His best friend is a lesbian Asian woman. Osborn is a black man. Lizard is a Latina woman. Like,
Osborn's a black man. Lizard's a Latina woman?
Coleman Domingo.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, sounds woke to me.
But that's what I mean. It's pretty woke. So he's like, I love it. So he's not. So if he was some weird Trumper, he would hate this. So that's why I question of like, what did he mean by woke? And maybe he ignorantly means that idea of like, oh, they were just like trying to like do a grab and like just trying to like make it all like, you know, for the Gen Zs and changing everything just for Gen Z, but it being stupid and bad. Which is stupid. A stupid thing to say. And I feel like he should come out and apologize. But for me, it's not reason enough to not want to watch a movie. I feel the same way about Emilia Perez, which is a movie.
Oh, we should talk about that.
We can talk about that too.
Yeah.
So I did watch it.
Okay.
But here's the thing. It's okay. It's also, why do we need this?
So isn't this supposed to be kind of filling in what Tom Holland's character was doing upon discovery of his powers? Isn't that the premise?
The original thought, and then they scrapped that. This is not connected to... I originally thought this is Tom Holland how he became Spider-Man and everything up to Iron Man coming to get him. So everything up to like Civil War. They realized he probably can't have a love interest. He probably, you know what I mean? It was like there's too many things set in stone and too many stories already in place that it's like, oh, we really can't tell any stories because there's too many things. So they scrapped it. So there's no, was he with Gwen Stacy in the first one? Is that who he had the crush on?
No, it's Liz Allen.
Who's Michael Keaton's daughter?
Liz Allen.
Liz Allen. So there's no Liz Allen. There's no MJ. He does end up having a friend, which... Joe, I was watching with Joe, and he was making fun of me because he read Spider-Man comics. So he actually knows more about Spider-Man comics. Like, as soon as he saw...
Really?
As soon as he saw the character that was going to be Lizard, it was a woman without an arm.
Yeah,
That's still
Dr.
a human,
Connors.
and he was like, "Oh, that's Lizard." I'm like, "Oh, how do you know?" And he's like,
Girl, put him
on. Host a comic book podcast. Why
Get
do you
out
not
here.
know?
Swap him in.
I know, right? He should come here and do it. He just knows more than me. But the interesting thing is, his best friend is Nico from Runaways.
Wait, like
Nico
the character?
Minoru. Yeah.
You mean the actress is voicing her?
No, the character from the Runaways.
Wait,
Like
Sister Grimm is in this?
Yeah, Nico Minoru is his
Hold.
best friend. Is like a lesbian.
Hold the phone. What? The Runaways are in
crazy?
this?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Oh my god.
And because at first he's like best friends
Wow.
with like an Asian person, and me and Joe thought it would be Silk.
Yeah, right.
And then I was like, because I know but Silk's Korean.
Yeah.
But then Joe was telling me that Silk has a thing with hormones, that because they were bit by the same spider, she's really horny for Spider-Man whenever she's around him.
Yes.
See, that's where I was like, what? I did not know that. That is such a crazy plot point.
Isn't that
I
crazy?
love that. But anyway, it's weird.
Does she have her staff?
No.
Oh,
she's just a normal student. So that's weird. It was like, are they going to add that?
Is
But
there a
here's
Ned?
Here's the thing. It opens with him going to school, and then there's a huge battle where an interdimensional symbiote spider comes out and starts attacking everybody. And Doctor Strange comes through the portal and starts saving the day. But before the portal closes, as he pulls him back in, a spider from that world is left and bites Peter. And I was like, oh, so now we're going to see how he like, you know, becomes Spider-Man and all of that. But here's the other thing. He gets bit then, but in the car, he told Aunt May, I'm so sorry about Uncle Ben. Things aren't the same since he died. Where I was like, oh, Uncle Ben, it's weird where Uncle Ben is it's in the Spider-Verse. His death is the main thing that makes people become be the real Spider-Man. But he's already dead. So
yeah, I mean, didn't we know that that's what's happening in the cinematic universe? Like, they're really making it seem like it's Aunt May that made him really.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
right. So it's Aunt May instead of Uncle Ben. Okay, yeah. All right.
I
fine.
think Ben is dead in the MCU because they did show a briefcase with his initials on it one time.
Right. But I still thought that he died after he became Spider-Man.
Right. Who knows? Who
No, he
knows?
didn't. He didn't.
Oh.
No, it's established. They were talking about Uncle Ben being dead, and then the battle happens, and then he gets bit by the spider.
Wow.
But here's the thing: is I was like, oh, and then was the credits, and then I was like, oh, okay, cool. And now we're gonna see him like wake up with the powers and discover. It immediately cuts to him already had made the web shooters, and he's going around as Spider-Man. So I was like, they just fast forwarded, and he's already like trying to be Spider-Man.
I truly thought this whole thing was like prequel, and I'm a little disappointed. But then when you said symbiote, I'm like, oh, there's the reason. There's the reason it's not the early adventures of Tom Holland, so they can do Venom stuff.
Yeah, they want to do. I think they established also. There's a girl named Pearl
Bailey.
Pearl Pangan.
Okay.
Is that from the Spider-Man world? That's the person he has a crush on, which is his old babysitter. I think they needed to establish new love interests, and it's hard to establish new love interests when it's like, oh, this is all like, within like 8 months when fucking Tony Stark shows up, he's gonna not care about any of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
But also at the same time, rather than being called by Tony Stark to intern for him, he's called in by Norman Osborn.
Okay.
He's interning for him, and the people that are interning with him is who is the person? One of the people that he's interning with is someone named Amadeus Cho.
No.
Yup. And then I think her name's Aja, and she's from Wakanda. Is that a familiar character name? Mm-mm. But anyway, there's a Wakandan character.
Okay.
And Amadeus Cho, and then there's a few other people, and then Paul F. Tompkins plays Bentley Whitman. Is that a character?
That sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Anyway, so then there's like Norman Osborn, and then there's the girl who's going to be Lizard, and then another guy, and then they have a bunch of interns, including Amadeus Cho. And so he's interning at night. This is the one thing I did not understand. He interns at night and goes to school during the day, but he keeps being like, all right, yeah?
Bentley Whitman is the Wizard. The Marvel
villain,
the
Wizard. Oh, okay, there you go. So, but here's the thing. He interns at night, and there's things where it's like after school, like kids are going to parties. He's like, oh, I need to go save the day. I have to go to the bathroom real quick. And then they're like, where are you? It's like 9:30 at night. And I'm like, why are they interning? It's just weird where it's like, what office is this where you're having to intern a full-time till 9:30, 10 p.m. at night?
That's so Oscorp.
Yeah, but I'll say this at the end. Should I spoil it? Are you going to watch it? Do you care?
Yeah. No, I don't care.
At the end of episode 2, Norman Osborn has him on video. Like, he calls him up and he's like, so, you're Spider-Man? Because he has him on video changing into it while he was, like, trying to save the day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, it's okay. The animation, I'm not really liking.
Okay.
It's supposed to look like panels from a 1960s comic. But it's still using what if 3D animation and then trying to flatten it. And I think they're trying to mimic, but doing their own thing of what the Spider-Verse does, but not doing it right.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then Joe was bitching because Joe's an animator. And he was saying, he was like, when people are standing still and talking, watch how often they move their hands, and that's how I can tell if it's animated well.
Oh.
Because he'll be like, the characters are like, so anyway, it was a long day, and he's like, he's like, they're over. He's like, that's amateur animation where you're like, you don't need to do that. Anyway, it's okay.
Okay, great.
Let's move on.
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I will watch. Maybe. I don't know. Sounds pretty woke. Severance. Episode 3.
Wait, before we talk... Wait, did you do a graph for Emilia Perez?
No, let's just do you and me. Let's talk about Emilia Perez.
I want to talk about that because I feel like that goes back to the Spider-Man with the guy tweeting
with the annoying and
controversial
woke
stuff.
Okay.
Emilia Perez, her old tweets came out where she said... out of
the
pocket,
actress,
crazy shit.
Carla Sofia Gascon.
I hate the movie Emilia Perez. So is I'm sorry, what's her name again?
Carla Sofia Gascon.
Carla Sofia Gascon. She I do not believe if one actor says something out of pocket that you throw the entire movie out.
I do.
I think it's okay. I think it's a bit different if like maybe the people creating it, But I do feel it's a little unfair when an actor, you find out they did something fucked up, and then all these people that are making it, you kind of
Whatever,
throw
they
the
got
baby
paid.
out with the bathwater. I, however, don't care that much because I hate this movie. My husband, who loves the movie, feels that she is being sought after and they're going after her because she is trans. They're targeting the trans person and digging
Absolutely.
through all of her stuff. And my thing was, but she did say fucked up out-of-pocket stuff. And he's like, but the only reason they target her in the first place is because she was trans. And I'm like, but does that mean we should, like, give her a pass? She said that George Floyd, like, deserved it and is a thug.
What?
And I'll tell you this, it's when you're dealing with people outside of America, and Americans are very nuanced. They understand the nuances of race, and when you're from a country where everyone is, where there
Is
isn't
of
racial
one,
diversity, you can be a lot more ignorant. But she also was trashing Selena Gomez, calling her a dirty rat.
Oh!
In like 2013. Like, they dug deep. But that is not the main problem. The main problem is the actress that won for the Brazilian movie.
Yeah, Fernanda Torres.
Carla Sofia said, with no proof, that she is going around town trashing her and the movie and trying to get her not to win. And there's no proof of that. Like, she's never said anything to the press or anything like that. There's no proof of it. So she's basically bad-mouthing her, saying she's trashing me. She's trying to get the movie ruined, and she's saying that it's a terrible movie, blah, 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 blah. That is against, when you are nominated, you are sent rules of engagement, and you are not allowed to ever say anything negative about another nominee.
You can't do negative press, yeah.
And she did. So now people are calling for her to be disqualified. But I do hate the idea that the only person to ever have a nomination rescinded is like
would be the first trans. Oh, God.
So that seems really fucked up. So it's a dicey
Well,
situation.
listen, this will all wash away when Demi Moore is standing up there holding her Oscar.
Girl, for me, it's like, give me some Conclave and Demi Moore.
Give me some Demi Moore. You know what? No, I want Sebastian Stan. Give me some Sebastian Stan for his bravery for Different Man and for the Trump movie. Give it to him. He's the only one that had balls. Sebastian Stan's balls.
Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that because it's a
shame.
The Oscars
It's a
this
real
year
shame.
are crazy. It's like nuts.
Oh, I can't wait. Anyway,
But
Severance, episode 3.
First of all, you're telling me Gwendolyn, what's her name? Gwendolyn
Christie?
And Merritt Weaver are now in the cast?
Yep.
Merritt fucking Weaver, who gave the best Emmys acceptance speech of all time.
Yep. What did she? She won for the motorcycle, right?
No, she won for Nurse
Motorcycle
Jackie.
Sons. Oh, Nurse Jackie.
Yeah, and she just walked up there and went, "Thank you so much. I gotta go." And then walked off.
Yep.
Best acceptance speech ever.
Best.
Anyway, Gwendolyn Stacy is playing an insane
Gwendolyn
goat
Stacy.
farmer.
She's an listen. I think, and if you haven't watched Severance, I'm not gonna do. We're just gonna. This conversation is not gonna make sense unless you've seen it. I think these people are goats. I don't know. Like, I was like, are these goat people?
But these people, I'm like, did these people have Audis? They look like they haven't bathed in days. It doesn't look like
are
they've
there
left.
Audis? Are there out? They struck me as like unhoused. Are there Audis unhoused?
I don't know.
Do they even have
are they
Audis?
just there all the time? I want to know what is up with these people. It's weird.
And what are they doing? So so this is Helly and Mark. Their innies stumble into. They're walking around looking for who he thinks is his dead wife, Gemma. Mrs. What's her name? And they stumble into this giant like green room where it's one of the big white rooms, but it's covered in like grassy hills. It's got grassy hills in it. and there's people like wearing goat hides over themselves to pretend as if they are one of the goats. There are many goats in this room, and there's many people dressed as goats, and then there's Gwendolyn Christie, who's got a ton of makeup on. Her hair is disheveled. She's wearing this frumpled suit.
Dirt on her face.
Dirt on her face. What is she doing? Who are these people? They call themselves mammalian naturalists or something like that?
Mm-hmm. I think they're hurting the clone goats. So they're the clone goat herders.
Why are they dressed as goats? What was the man talking about when he was like, he's really good at stargazing? What was that?
I have no idea. All I'm saying is this shit better not be lost where they don't explain it.
I know.
Because I love it. I love how
it's starting to
crazy
get
and weird it is.
A little out of hand. It's starting to get a little out
But
of hand.
that, I really have no idea about this. There's things where you're like, oh, I think Mrs. Swang is Gemma Young, a young clone version. I think I can figure some things out. This
is so out of nowhere.
Know. I think it's connected to the cloning. That's all I can say, is it's connected to the cloning.
This is what I'm concerned about, is it's just getting doing weird shit with no, and we're going to be like, could you explain one thing before you keep inventing new weird shit for us to be like, what the fuck is that? Like, just play with us a little here. Like, a little give and take. Give us information and then do weird. Like, I'd like to know who Mrs. I'd like some context around Cobell. I'd like some context around Milchick. I'd like some context around what they're doing in here.
I think, but even the first season, I don't think it was until like the 4th episode that you started being revealed like what was going on.
Sure.
So I think it's going to take a few before they start revealing some stuff. Do you have other slides on this one?
No.
Or is it just this one? Okay.
Just this one. We can put her away.
I also want to talk. Merritt Weaver shows up as Dylan's wife.
Right. Dylan's outie wife.
She strangely seemed to like any Dylan more than outie Dylan.
Because outie Dylan, we're learning, is kind of a loser.
Yeah, and I think people were talking about how she said that she loved him, any Dylan, and did not say "I love you" to outie Dylan like when she was leaving. And is she a security guard or is she a cop?
I'm not sure.
So that's all very interesting.
Super interesting. And it sucks because Dylan, I think, had this fantasy of who he was in the outside world, and it was not somebody who could not hold down a job.
Yeah. And then I also want to talk about the character Natalie. She's the one that's always communicating with the board.
Natalie.
Is she a human? What is going on with her? She does not act like a human.
I think she's so corporate that
she's just cultified.
But I also think there was real connection and nonverbal communication going on between her and Milchick, where they were giving him the horrifically offensive, I forget what they like, recanonized paintings.
Yeah, they basically repainted the ones
of Keir, the founder.
Of Keir, but as if it was him.
With black skin.
So they basically just put them all put him in blackface and everything.
Yeah, I mean, like they kept his blue eyes. Like it's really
so weird.
Horrific. But she, she is likely of mixed race. He is black. And when she was giving him the paintings, she was smiling with such a strained face that was like, as if to say, like, don't say anything.
It felt like Get Out. It felt like the characters from Get Out.
Very Get Out. Like, she definitely was saying something to him with her eyes that she was not saying with her words.
It's very strange. And then she shows up to Rickon basically being like, the innies love your book. We want to rewrite your book just for the innies. And then what's his wife's name? Devin? Devin shows up. And she immediately kind of knows to like keep her cool. But she also knows to like leave Rickon out of everything. Where a lot of times he's like, oh, have you told Rickon about this? And she's like, no. And it leaves me, this is the one thing I don't understand. Why are they together? It does not seem that she likes him. She does not trust him. And part of me, I wish they would explain that. And part of me is thinking that he was kind of more normal. And then was
something
like,
happened.
I want to write this book. And then he wrote
Yeah.
the book, and then everyone loved it. And he kind of turned into a crazy culty weirdo.
Yeah.
I kind of want, because right now I'm like, what, you two, she's cool.
She is the only normal one in the entire town.
Yeah. And so it's like, why are you with this Looney Tunes guy?
Yeah, it's weird. And what's up with Rebecca?
With who?
Every week with Rebecca. You have to get in on the Rebecca. Come on, Rebecca. Rebecca's one of Rickon's friends, and they're always making fun of her.
Oh, yeah,
She's pretty dumb. I watched the season 1, episode 1 again, and there's this really great scene that I completely forgot about with Rickon and his friends. And they're having a dinner party, and they're very pretentious, and they're really trying to sound intellectual. And one of his friends says, did you know that during World War I, they called it the Great War? It wasn't en vogue to call it World War I. Isn't that fascinating? And like, Mark just looks at them and he's like, yeah, because there was no World War II yet, so they wouldn't know to call that World War I. And everyone just freezes, like, oh. And so there's something intellectually holding these people back. And I'm dying to know. It actually, I think it's the same guy who was like, I found her. I'm the one that found the baby in the season 1 finale. Anyway, there's
one thing
Rebecca,
I forgot is the character that was helping his old coworker that was
Petey.
trying to be reintegrated.
Petey.
The person
I forgot
doing
all
that
about Petey.
procedure. The person doing that procedure.
Oh,
what
the
is
woman.
Their name?
The woman doing the procedure.
She shows up, and this episode ends with her reintegrating Mark. What?
Yeah, so that's going to be incredible.
So that's, you're saying they're not revealing a lot? That seems like, I didn't think that was going to be happening.
Actually, that's true. That happened quick. And I read theories on Reddit that says he's not going to be able to do his job now that he's reintegrated. There's something about they need any Mark to complete this Cold Harbor project, whatever that is. But I think now that he's reintegrated, he probably has lost the ability to do his job correct.
Do you think all of this cloning and all of this is just to bring back to resurrect the original guy?
Absolutely. Doesn't the new opening credits ends with like a baby version of Keir at Mark's feet? I do. I actually think Mark is clearly working on his wife because they flashed her face on the screen. So I wonder, like, is Mark recreating his wife? Is he reprogramming his wife? They move numbers into 5 different buckets. That's their job. Is when numbers make them feel weird, they move it. I think the 5 buckets represent the 5 types of brain waves. Because didn't the reintegration process, wasn't that about realigning those 5 brain waves?
Yeah.
So I think there's something about these 5 brain waves. I think it's one person, 5 brainwaves, like alpha, beta, gamma, like those. I think that is what Mark is fucking with, is somebody's 5 brainwaves.
Oh, okay.
And likely his wife, because it's her face on the monitor. So
what's that
the irony
Amazon
of
animated? It's starting to remind me a lot of that Amazon animated show where people were being loaded up into AI.
the one with
Do
that
you
hot
remember
guy.
that show? Fuck, what was it called? Anyway, but there was a character, it was like a Steve Jobs character, and they actually cloned him. And they were purposely raising him to have the exact same childhood life so that he would become the same person. So it had like a fake dad and a fake mom fighting and doing the same like moments of trauma so that he would become the same like Steve Jobs character. What was that show called? Oh, that drives me crazy.
I don't know, but I'm going to hit the comic book music in a second.
Okay. Oh, wait, don't you want to talk about Drag Race?
Oh my God, we have to talk about Drag Race.
What do you think?
I think somebody got a dose of reality, and somebody should feel humbled moving forward. Because you ain't all that
Arietti?
Arietti. Yeah.
No. I don't think she's going to change.
Yeah, right.
Well, also, I mean, I can't really speak much since I'm many episodes ahead.
Yes.
But the thing that I watch the episodes ahead because I edit fashion photo review, but I do not get to see the Untucks. And Brett, I don't know if you're aware
tell
of
me.
this,
I didn't.
But if
I
you're
was
not
so-
watching Untucked, you're only getting
half the story.
This is this episode, like top 10 best fights.
Tell me
of all
who,
time.
who? Wait, can I guess?
Yeah.
Arietti
Versus.
Oh my God, who is somebody who will tell her about herself? I want to say whore, Mona Lisa, because she will tell you about yourself. But who will really tell you about yourself?
No, it's no one's. It's Arietti
And Jewel?
going off that she did not win. Like she thought that she should win.
Oh, who won? Anya?
No, Susie Toot.
Susie too. Because she was fantastic.
And in the episode, do you remember how Lexi Love nicknamed them the Kumbaya girls, like the nice girls?
Yeah.
They're the nice girls. They can't kiki and they can't be bitchy.
Yeah.
Well, guess what happens when someone calls them those girls? They're now called the Sour Patch Kids.
Oh no! Did Lexi make that up?
No. I think the fans are calling them that.
Oh.
Or Anya Nerve maybe have, but Benny was calling them the Sour Patch Kids because they're being full sour. It was full sour grapes.
Wow! I can't wait to watch.
They hated, everyone in that group hated Susie Toot's clown outfit.
Oh, I thought it was
they're under
delightful.
the thing. They're like, your clown outfit's terrible. How could you be in the top? And On Your Nerves is like, but she did the best in the challenge. And they're like, but her outfit's bad. And then Susie Toot's like, excuse me, the judges liked my outfit. And they were like, no, but my outfit's better. And she's like, and then Anya, it basically became Anya Hormone. Because then Arietti basically is like, I shouldn't be here. And Jules like, what, you think someone should be? He's like, yeah. And she's like, who? And she starts going off being like, you're terrible. You should not have been. You're terrible. I did better than you.
She's awful.
And I did better than you. And then Susie Toot was literally just like, well, the judges said that your performance didn't have this. And they're all like, no, it did. And she's like,
it was so
I'm
bad.
just telling you what the judges said. Like,
Right.
she's also like, this is what RuPaul says. And they're all like, no, that's crazy. That's like the people that weren't there for the judging, the Safe Queens. They're like, no, she was like, they were like, Arietti is, like, Corey King was like, Arietti was like the best.
What?
Like,
Corey King's
then
another one that
Lexi-
just has
and
no
then-
idea what comedy looks like.
And then Susie Toot is literally like, all right, you all can hate on me, but the judges loved it.
Yeah.
And so you can suck it. And then Anya is like,
Fuck you.
She's like, it's about the challenge, baby. It's who does best in the challenge, not who has the best looks.
Yeah.
Like, have you not ever seen the show before? And Lexi Love, I think Susie Toot was being a little condescending and dismissive of Lexi. And I think Lexi now hates her.
Yeah.
Because when they
But
were
also-
prepping for the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Like, Lexi, you've been in the writer's room writing sketch. Like, Lexi's ideas weren't aligned with the concept. Like,
But here's the other thing. Susie is comfortable being like, no, I like this, I like this. Lexi could have just said, no,
right.
I like this, and I'm going to do that. Like, you have to fight. You have to fight for your position.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean?
You
And
can't just be
Susie
like,
felt comfortable
yeah.
doing it. Lexi didn't. And then she got sour about it, being like, oh, she's like steamrolling over me. You fight back. You tell her, no, I like this idea, and I'm going to do it my way. Like, you just have to fight for it.
And that's fine, but it's like, okay, but your ideas are not aligning with the joke that we are telling.
And
Like,
Susie was right, because they loved that part.
Lexi
judges
was
loved that
not
part.
good. Like, and then Lexi had, like, I think afterwards was like, well, I actually do think I could be like a news anchor for real. Girl, it was not good.
Yeah.
And that was like, I was like, I didn't
but
realize
I'll
how
say that whole-
delusional
but
Lexi
they
was.
I've seen other RDR of those. I've seen worse.
Sure, but
didn't-
it still
neither of them
wasn't
deserve to
funny.
be in the bottom. But here's me, Arietti. That was
That
one
was
of the worst.
awful.
That was one of the worst things ever. So I mean, people that are just like, No, but she like went big, and it's like, who cares?
No, that's not
it
how you
wasn't
like.
funny.
That's not good. Like
wasn't
just because
funny.
you went big, like you can't start at a 25 and then maintain the 25. You start at a 3 and you get to a 10. Like that's
But
how
also,
you do it.
Being at 100 at not funny makes it a million times less funny.
Right, exactly.
Like it was just never
It starts
funny.
to get like disturbing.
And the thing that they explained, that Paul Downs explained, is the characters were supposed to be Trumpers, like or like moms for liberty.
They didn't get the joke.
So she didn't get what the joke was about. She was like,
Right.
"I'm a caveman,"
Right.
And you're like, "No, you're supposed to be a crazy
And that's why
moms for liberty." No, it's literally
Corey-
like a mom for liberty being like, "How dare you? I don't believe in Homo sapiens."
Right.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? The ooh, ooh, ooh
Right.
is like a little side thing.
Exactly.
And Corey King
Just doesn't get it.
was with that
She
outfit.
just doesn't get it.
Doesn't have good looks. Doesn't
No.
have good comedy.
No. Bye.
Isn't a good lips. Like, I don't think there's anything going on.
Bye. Nothing going on except a annoying passive aggressive plain Jane imitation.
Yeah. I will say, but she's good TV because she's delusional. But
Super delusional.
Lana Jarre then starts going off on Susie Toot in the Untucked. And being like, I should have been in the top. You were not good. Like, it's just delusion. And this is
It's
the thing.
delusion.
These are young queens. It was basically Jewel Sparkle, Lana Jarre, Arietti, Corey King, and Crystal Envy, and Lexi Love. Lexi Love wasn't saying anything, but in the background she was just shaking her head
Yeah.
like this whenever Arietti and them talked, and whenever Susie was talking.
Yeah. Well,
She
those
was
are. I
shaking
mean,
her head
honestly,
violently.
those are
But
all the
those
ones that kind of
girls-
overestimate themselves.
Those girls need to remember that there's something called Season 5 of Drag Race. Relaska talks versus Jinx. And everybody is bringing up, this feels like when Roxy Andrews and Detox
Yeah.
were trashing Jinx.
Yeah.
And we all know what happened.
We all know why. Mm-hmm.
But we all know who came. It's like you're villainizing yourself. And I think Jewel Sparkle might have seen it because Anya then went off being like, because Jules finally said, I feel like we're yelling at her. She's not in control that she was in the top. It was
Right.
finally like a thing of like, that wasn't her that said she was in the top. And then Anya was like, girl, what are you all, like, you're all sour, like you all have sour grapes. Like
Yeah.
it's just reading really sour.
Anya is the only one I feel with her head screwed on straight. She's the only one with any sort of kind of common sense and who sees the world for what it is.
Well, the previews for next week. Somebody sabotages Lexi Love's outfit. Did you see that in the previews?
No. And they're going to blame Anya because what she did to Jewel.
So this season is
This
messy.
season's good.
But I'll tell you this, I love it. The fact that they put a lot of really young queens that are too young to be like,
Yeah.
don't act crazy. I kind of love it.
Yeah, they're
It's
super
great.
delusional.
It's the delusion is, it's delusion, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. It's dunt.
It's
And
dunt.
I love it. I love it.
That's wonderful. We should talk about some X-Men books, but girl, we got to cruise through that because I need to go soon.
Okay, let's do it.
It's mutants with powers, Omega for hours. Bitch, let's read some X-Men.
I think that is that was so weird. I'm sorry. I think that's the first time I was like in the middle of a podcast, like, could we hurry up?
Can we hurry up?
I've never done that before, but can we hurry up? Okay.
All right, let's talk about X-Men. Well,
Oh,
this
I didn't take out the Storm Lifedream.
I didn't
It was
read
cute. Yeah, you didn't read it. It was cute. It's a lot
It was
of
those things where it's like a compilation of things in the
Yeah,
past.
but it's
like,
one-
I don't care.
It's one story. I thought it was going to be different stories by different creators.
that's what
It's
I thought
actually
too, it wasn't.
4 creators doing one pulled through story.
I just didn't want to read like a montage of.
Yeah, it's a celebration of Storm, but ultimately skippable. It's a celebration of Storm. 50 years of Storm. 50 years of SNL, 50
I
years
love
of Storm.
Storm. She's awesome. Yeah, great.
I didn't realize Storm was born in Harlem. That was one thing I learned
What?
from this book. I never knew that she was born in Harlem, New York.
And then moved to Cairo.
Or
Or
like
Kenya?
I guess, but she was born in Harlem and then they went to that's what it says in this book. I was like, okay. Anyway, I live in Storm's.
Wasn't she a pickpocket in Cairo?
Yeah. Like her parents die in Cairo, right?
Yeah. But is
She was
she
born in
originally
Harlem?
From what country is she originally from? Because she's not Egyptian.
She was born here.
No, but I mean her
I don't know.
ethnic background.
Um,
Who knows? But Storm's amazing.
is she Kenyan?
I love her.
Yeah,
That's
she's
what I
amazing.
think.
It's great.
Psylocke.
I don't like. I don't like your tone.
My tone?
Yeah.
I didn't say anything. I like this book. What are you
Oh, I
talking
love it.
about?
I love it.
Okay. Yeah, I was like,
You said Psylocke like a sigh, maybe because it's the word sigh.
Well, it was
You're like-
just no. I
you're
think
like,
it was me like
Psylocke.
Psylocke. It's me saying it isn't like okay. How do I say this fast?
Oh, fun! Thank you for honoring my request. I love this book.
Psylocke, it's great. I feel this book is doing what a lot of the books are not doing. It's really establishing personal like the fact that there's like a weird kind of evil love triangle between Shinobi and
Grey Crow.
Grey Crow. That's fascinating. I kind of
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
They're giving her like a backstory. She's also kind of saving these kids. They established a new kind of a villain that's kind of interesting.
Yep. Sadistic, weird.
Yeah.
Someone even Shinobi Shaw is kind of like afraid of, disgusted by.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you're just like, it's the same thing with like Gail Simone, where you're like, you either got it or you don't. It's just good writing.
This
And
reads.
so, yeah.
This reads like a really good. You know what this reads like? This reads like what like a action thriller from like the 80s or 90s. Like this is like a
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke or like one of those. I'm trying to like struggle with like to name one, but like a
What's
Miami
the one? What's
Vice-ish.
the Batman with the three Joker? What's that one? The joking,
The Killing Joke.
the killing joke. Does it have that kind of vibe? Not plot wise.
No, I just like to me this just feels like a cool action movie from the late 80s. Like this feels like a
movie.
Lethal
Okay,
Weapon.
totally.
Like
Okay, yeah.
like yeah, it's great.
It's great.
This feels like
So thank you, Psylocke, for.
I don't know, like an Angel Heat.
But it's so
Yeah.
funny because like Laura Kinney Wolverine is trying to do this and it's not.
Yeah,
working.
this so far is the most successful solo X-Men
Storm
book.
is
I
good,
feel Storm
but
is
it's
good,
a little
but this is pretty. This is
meandering.
tight. Like
Yeah.
Storm is not tight. This Psylocke book is tight. It's
Yeah.
great. You didn't read
I
West Coast
did not read
Avengers.
West Coast Avengers.
Number 3.
So do we discover who the other Ultron
Yeah.
is?
So it turns
Who
out
is it?
when Ultron split from Hank Pym, Ultron was catatonic and alone, floating through outer space, and then woke up and was not able to get back to Earth. I don't know, for some reason, but was able to cure his loneliness by creating a second Ultron. And then these two Ultron existed together floating through space and started to philosophize about life and their mission and what they should be doing. And then they're both inherently like trying to help the Earth. But this one, the bad one with the wings, who's decapitating people and putting them on robot bodies, he's like, this is his way of like, this is his path. Of
So
trying
the
to help
other
the
Ultron
world.
knows who this one is.
And the other Ultron, yeah, they're basically twin brothers. And like the other Ultron does know. Like the comment at the end of 2 of like, I don't know who the fuck that is. Like it's kind of a lie. There is an origin. I mean, and maybe that Ultron doesn't remember. I don't know, but that Ultron and this Ultron have a history. And so the other Ultron, the one on the team, decided that he was going to be a protector. And that was his path. And so it's about these two.
So there's probably going to be an Ultron versus Ultron showdown.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of that here. This is essentially a big fight between Ultron and his minions, the Headless people, and Ultron and the West Coast Avengers. And basically what this Ultron is promising is a life without pain, a life without stress. Like, you know, I cured this woman who had fatal cancer by chopping her head off and putting her on a robot body. Look how happy she is. And she actually knows Jessica Drew. So, you know, Jessica Drew is like talking to her like, what the fuck did they do to you?
Yeah, because she was in the first episode talking to her, right?
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
first
She's a
issue,
friend.
yeah.
She's a friend of Jessica Drew. So it's pretty interesting. And then
Do they win, or is it still like ongoing?
It's a little bit of like retreat. Like it's still ongoing, but they do retreat from one another. What Ultron flies back into his like giant tower, and what's cool is the Avengers are talking, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Wait, where's Jessica?" And then you see Jessica like way up at the top of the tower, like crawling into a hole. So she is just going to take off on her own and do a little stealth of like spying on Ultron and like what all this is about.
Because she now has a personal thing in it that her friend did it.
Yeah. Firestar is the best part of this book. She is a fucking mess. And she is an asshole. Like, she's such a cunt, especially to robots. She is so awful.
She's so traumatized from Nimrod.
She goes to kill the minions, the people who had their heads chopped off and she's like burning them alive. Like they still have skin on their faces. And she's like burning their skin off, and Iron Man is like, "You're fucking killing them! Like, stop!" And she's like, "No, fuck them!" Like, it's because they have robot bodies.
They chose to be a robot. They're now on the enemy
She's like,
side.
"No, they chose to be a robot. Fuck them!" And she like almost like she tries to kill them. It's great, but the ending. Oh, so the big thing about the Ultron is like he kind of makes sense. There's people who are like, "Actually, that sounds cool. Like, I have cancer. Chop my head off, put me in a robot body. I would love that." And so there's people like flocking to him. And so Tony is trying to stop people from flocking to Ultron. So he goes to the Illuminati at the end. And he asks Emma Frost to telepathically sway everyone away from Ultron. And she goes, no. She's like, no.
Wait, literally, is Emma Frost taking Xavier's place in the Illuminati?
I guess, like, the Illuminati's Blue Marvel, Doctor Strange, Emma Frost. And, yeah, I think she's been on it for a while now. And she is basically like, no. And
yeah, that's
like,
a lot
why?
to ask.
And she's like, it's
she's
a lot.
not big on taking the free will of people away.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm tired. She's like, I just got done with the whole Krakoa thing. Like, I don't want to. I'm sorry. And he's like, okay, then the Avengers will do it the hard way. And that's how it ends.
Also, it's really hard to tell someone, like, you're going to die. Or you could live forever as this
or
robot.
And
they're like, don't do that. And you're like, but I'm dying.
Yeah. Okay. X-Men number 10. I feel like we have a lot.
Just like one long face-off.
One long face-up. I think there were some really nice surprises here. Like the Hellions.
The Hellions. Yes. We see fucking Phantom X finally shows up.
Girl, do you know who showed up? You know how, like, everybody has got that, like, D-list mutant who they kind of love because of how they were posing in the background of a panel one time?
Boom Boom?
Locust.
Oh.
I am obsessed with Locust. I'm obsessed with Locust because, number one, they didn't know what race she was for a while. Like, when she first showed up, she was like a white blonde, and then she was a person of color, and then I think maybe she was white. And people were like, is Locust black or white? And I'm like, oh my God, what a mess. But also, when she was with, was it like the
what was she?
Mutant
Did
Liberation
she start
Front?
out as the upstarts? What did she
or
start
like
out?
Mutant Liberation Front, and like
Mutant
maybe a little bit of
Liberation
upstarts. But I just always loved her. Why? Because she had a high pony. She's this teleporting girl with a high pony. And I'm like, that's all I need. I love Locust. She's a mess. She has a high pony. People think she's magic. I love her.
And then there's Bedlam, and then Bedlam's brother.
King Bedlam. Jesse Bedlam and his brother King Bedlam.
And that was all when I wasn't really reading the comics.
I don't know King
I don't
Bedlam.
have any connection to any of them, really. But I love that it was Phantom X and Boom.
Love that it was Phantom X. And I love that this is a team that's got put together to just do massive damage.
So basically X-Force. It's weird he's calling them Hellions when they seem to be kind of X-Force-y.
Yeah.
Like the Dark Ops? What is it? Special Ops?
Black Ops.
Black Ops, yeah.
I did read King Bedlam did have a history with the Hellions. Like, I think he had his own team called the Hellions once. But I got to dig more.
But for me, this whole thing was about he's fighting with this one dude. What's the dude's name?
Yeah, that dude. The soldier.
The soldier who's kind of the new...
Lundquist.
AIM? Or because it's not Orcus anymore.
It's one.
One. But basically, the final threat is he's like, my wife is the Phoenix, and if I die, she'll just come back and destroy the whole Earth. That's
What a
kind of
card
the
to
best
play.
thing that was written in this entire comic run so far.
And he said this before. Like he's dropped this card a few times now in this series.
But this is the first one where literally he's like promising that she will end the world.
Like she will end the world.
Which she 100% would not do. But they don't know that.
They don't know that. But they don't know that.
But then Quentin's like, I heard that.
Yeah. This is
and
great.
he's kind of like, well, it might happen, so you're going to have to help take care of that if that does kind of happen. And
Not only
Quentin's
that.
like, huh?
Yeah. He's like, why do you think you're on the team? I loved that.
But
Because
so
I've
that
been
makes
like,
me
why
think,
is
does
Quentin Quire
Cyclops
on this team?
believe that then? That means he doesn't trust his wife as the Phoenix.
Were you there for the Dark Phoenix saga? You know?
No, I know, but the fact that that's the reason they are not together. I think the real reason she left is because she knows he doesn't trust her.
He's not
and
comfortable.
She can't be around it.
Yeah.
She needs to fucking come back. We need to end that fucking Phoenix run, and she needs to come back.
Yeah, and just be an X-Man.
Yes, and let them have their problems.
Yes.
And let them have their problems, and let them get divorced. And then Emma is going to be real confused because Cyclops and Tony Stark are going to both wooing her. And now she's like, oh no, I'm the one that gets to have two loves, bitch, not you.
That's right.
So this is I'm liking this.
I liked this issue a lot. Yeah, this was a good
so
one.
I'm liking that X-Men and Uncanny and Exceptional, they're doing okay.
They're,
We got
they're
Psylocke
delivering.
and Storm. So that's
delivering.
5 books. It's 5 books that are okay. So we need to look at that. That's a lot.
That's good.
He keeps shitting on all of the books. I mean, there's still Dazzler and Phoenix and Sentinels and...
Dazzler's over. Sentinels will be over soon. Phoenix ain't going to last much longer.
Yeah, there's still a
Phoenix
lot of
will end
shitty
with issue
ones.
10, I guarantee you.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. We did it. We did it.
I love it. I love it. Oh my God, I'm going to watch Untucked. I can't wait.
Yes.
I can't wait. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening
Thank you.
to Comic Book Queers. This has been episode 332. We are grateful for you. If you like the show and you listen to us on audio only, please consider visiting us on YouTube and subscribing. I think if we get one more subscriber, I will be very happy. We'll be at a very nice round number, and I'll be happy.
10.
10. 1. So do that. And also, you're gay.
How
You know
are
how
we
I know?
gay? Why are we gay?
Because you read
Brad?
comics.
Oh, that's right. Because if you read comics, well, then that makes you...
Queer. Bye.
Bye.
Smile.